Hello students, welcome to all of you Shiksha 360. Today we have to discuss chapter number 2 part 1 of KYC AML certificate course exam, that is money laundering, different methods of that. So let's start our discussion. In this session we will discuss some of the basic points, and after that I will try to cover 4 to 5 questions related to that. So first of all, here we will discuss regarding that money laundering process. Nature of money laundering process. Money laundering, it is a diverse and often a complex process. Depending on the sources of illegal funds, manner of their shift, how we can get that fund, what is the quantity of that funds clear, that is quantum of funds, the geographical spread of the activities, and the actors involved, the modalities of money laundering are conceived and adopted. The range of sophistication and complexity in the money laundering scheme is virtually infinite, and it is limited only by the creative imagination and expertise of criminals. A financial institution may be used at any point in the money laundering process. Clear? Why the financial institution? Basically, financial institution, it is used to convert the illegal money into the legally earned money. Okay. Now move further. Basics of the money laundering cycle. So illegal funds are generally used to generate are usually generated in the cash form. Be it the ransom money received in the case of kidnapping, or the amount received by a contract killer, or say the proceeds of illegal sale of the drugs. This cash amount is sought to be transformed into the legal funds, which would be substantially in the banking system. So thus the traditional methodology developed for the money laundering basically involves three independent steps. Very, very important. First question basically you will get in the examination. Clear? That is three independent steps that often occur simultaneously. What are these three independent steps which you will get? That is placement, PLI. Placement, layering, and integration. Clear? You have to remember the sequence of that also. Clear? First of all, we have to done the placement, then layering, then integration. So let's discuss regarding all these points one by one. Placement. What is that? Placement basically. Placing funds, that is placing fund basically it means that depositing the cash funds into the banking system. Clear? That is regarding the placement. Depositing the cash funds into the banking system. Second one here, that is the layering. Layering basically distancing the funds placed into the banking systems from their origins. Okay. So distancing the funds placed into the banking system from their origin through creation of various layers of the financial transactions. Clear? How basically? Through the creation of various layers of the financial transactions, so that the initial entry of placement stage gets obscured. Clear? Gets obscured. Basically, we can say that from here, they're transferring the funds into the different accounts. Clear? In the smaller portions. Integration, basically, that is accumulating the funds. Clear? Now collecting the funds legally, scattered over the various accounts and maybe several banks at one or two points, having an apparently legitimate form or purpose. Clear? Having an apparently legitimate form or purpose here. Okay. So therefore, the legal funds could be invested in the legal avenues or spent on the super luxurious. Clear? Depending as per the customer where they are spending those funds. Clear? Where they are spending those funds. Now next one, that is now in detail we will discuss. First of all, we will discuss regarding the placement. So this is generally the first stage in the money laundering cycle, when the funds generated through the illegal activities are introduced into the legal financial system. Typically, this is done through the cash deposits in the local financial institutions, or else smuggled out across the borders. Clear? Or else smuggled out across the borders to a safer jurisdiction for depositing in the foreign financial institutions. Clear? Either they have to be used in the same country or in the other country. Clear? So this poses some difficulties basically while transferring the funds to the other country due to provisions of reporting requirements of the cash transactions. Clear above 10 lakh basically they are to be comes under the reported transactions clear above certain threshold. Hence, at this stage, typically multiple accounts are to be used, and through these multiple transactions carried out. Such accounts could be spread in the different branches of a bank. Clear, such accounts could be spread in the different branches of a bank and or of the several banks. Besides, the launderers have been innovating new techniques to avoid getting reported under such provisions. Clear. So besides, the launderers have been innovating new techniques to avoid getting reported under such a provisions. So that is regarding the placement. Second one, that is the layering here. What is that? So after introducing the funds into the financial system, the launderer seeks to obscure the initial entry fund points from the eyes of the investigators. So layering basically implies creation of the layers of the transactions is the technique used for covering up the initial transactions. Clear, layering basically implies the creation of the layers of the transaction. It is a technique used for covering up the initial transactions. So this is done by carrying out numerous transactions for moving the funds through different accounts. Clear. So this is done how basically by carrying out numerous transactions for moving the funds through the different accounts in the several names and in various financial institutions. So these transactions could even involve cross-border transfers. So these transactions usually would be in the form of the structured or fake deals in the prevalent business activities. These are designed to frustrate the tracking of the source of the funds and the nature of the funds and their ownership. Clear? So these are designed to frustrate tracking of the source and the nature of the funds and their ownership. As high value transactions are monitored by the banks closely, launderers pay particularly attention to structuring these transactions deftly. Given the large number of transfer transactions of values of trillions of dollars, clear, given the large number of transfer transactions of values of trillions of dollars passing through the global financial system, it is easy for the launderers to slip through their illegitimate transactions unnoticed. So, moreover, the information technology developments resulting in the quick electronic fund transfer that can be initiated by the customer remotely through the net banking have been a boom to the launderers. Clear, even through the net banking, they are doing all these transactions clear presently. Earlier, basically, they are taking the cash. Now, basically, through the money online, that is with money mool accounts. Clear. Money mool accounts, basically, the account, it is of one person and it is to be operated by the another person for the fraudulent activities. Clear, for the fraudulent activities. Okay. So we have to be very carefully regarding all these things. Now, this is the process, how it is to be going on. First of all, that is collection of the dirty money, that is the placement. How the placement it is to be done basically in the banking, dirty money into the financial system, then layering, basically transfer on the bank account of company X, clear wire transfer loan to company Y, and then payment by Y of false invoice to the company X, clear rotation of the money, then that is the integration, clear usage of the money. That is purchase of the luxury assets, financial investments, or commercial and industrial investments here, clear. So this is the whole cycle. That is a typically money laundering scheme. This is that. Last one, that is the integration. Clear? So this is the final stage in the money laundering cycle. It is the stage where the money moves into the legal avenues to emerge as a legitimate money and integrate into the financial system. These avenues would depend upon the quantum of the funds involved. Clear? Okay, so I will repeat once. It is a stage where the money moves into the legal avenues to emerge as a legitimate money and integrate into the financial system. These avenues would depend on the quantum of the funds involved, the launderer needs for the funds, and the objective of the deployment. Typically, these avenues could be the stocks, commodities, futures, investment in the real estate, gold, etc. Where the objective it is to be the long term deployment of the funds. So these could be invested in the business activities like construction and real estate development, film making, etc. At this stage, the launderer has accomplished the objective. Clear? That is, they have fulfilled the objective, fully converted the money from the illegal into the legal one. So what is the learning for the bankers here? This analysis of the typical money laundering cycle helps us to formulate an approach for detection of such illegitimate transactions. Banks are used by the customers for financial transactions that would serve some bona fide or legal purpose. Having knowledge about the customers and their activities would help the banker to determine the pattern of the transactions. Spotting mismatches in the pattern of actual transactions of a customer with that evident from the customer's profile, it is possible with appropriate strategies and measures. At placement stage, since it involves cash, it is relatively easier to detect unusual or illegitimate transactions. At the layering stage, two being to alert to the transaction pattern of the customer and insight into the funds movement for various business activities, enable detection of the unusual transactions. At the integration stage, it is extremely difficult for the banks and financial institutions to distinguish between the legal and the illegal money. Clear? So basically, the first and the second stage used basically for the detection of the transactions. Clear? First, it is the initial stage where we can easily detect that. Clear? So these are some of the stages of the money laundering cycle. Okay, so in this session, now we will discuss some of the question. Which of the following it is a stage in the terror financing? Clear? Which of the following it is a stage in the terror financing here? Clear? Terror financing, that is legitimate money, basically they are transferring that. Clear? So layering, placement, integration, or raising, option number C. It is the correct answer. That is the integration here. Clear? Put the money, circulate, and legal money. Dash is the investigating and prosecuting authority for the money laundering crime. Financial Intelligence Unit, FIU, India, Enforcement Directorate, Special Court, Central Bureau of Investigation. Clear? So which is the correct one? Dash is the investigation and prosecuting authority for the money laundering crime, that is Enforcement Directorate. Clear? It is the investigating and prosecuting authority for the money laundering crime. Next one. The anti-money laundering and combating financing of terrorism. Clear? AML, anti-money laundering. CFT, that is combating financing of terrorism, stands across the globe are an outcome of which of the following organization? United Nations Peacekeeping, Financial Action Task Force, UNSC Counter-Terrorism Committee, Financial Services and Market Act. Option number B is the correct answer, that is Financial Action Task Force. Clear? Now move to the next one, which with the reference to the various stages of the money laundering cycle, select the correct statement from the following. Money laundering, sir. The stage of layering basically comprises of deposits made in the multiple bank accounts. This is not of the layering. Basically, this is the function of the placement. In the stage of the integration, the funds from the criminal activity are introduced into the financial statement. This is also placement. Placement refers to collecting the funds lying in the multiple accounts in one or few accounts that are then deployed for investing in the some legal activities. That is not placement, that is the layering. So option number D, it is the correct one, but we have to go through that. The stage of layering basically helps in hiding the source of funds from the various means. Clear? So option number D is the correct answer. Hope you are able to understand basically how they will ask the question in the examination. Okay. Now move to the last one of the today's discussion. In which stage of the financing of terrorism the funds are parked in the interim in the bank accounts or any other financial investment? Clear? Basically they are to be stored here. Clear? Raising, moving, storing, or using. Clear? The funds are parked, that is storing. Storing. Option number C is the answer here. I will discuss one more question. So prior to the introduction of KYC guidelines, clear, before the introduction of the KYC guidelines by the RBI in 2002, the banking practice was to obtain dash for a new customer. Introduction, identification, indemnity, indemnification. That is introduction, clear, from already account holder or from a recognized person. Clear? Regarding that, this you are known that person. Clear? Who are coming to the bank for opening the account. Clear? That is introduction. Okay, so for all the sessions, you can join our YouTube channel, and for any updates regarding the course, you can mail on our email ID or you can subscribe, join our Telegram group. All the links are available in the description of the video. Clear? So thanks to all of you for joining this discussion. Presently, three courses are running: ethics in banking, foreign exchange facilities for the individual, KYC, AML exam. Clear? So thanks to all of you for joining this discussion.